Mike McClung here in the Royal Examiner Studio, and with me today are two people from our local DSS office, the Department of Social Services. We have Brook McClung and John Martz. Is it Martz?
Martz.
Martz. Smart man, Martz. So John is our relatively new. It seems like COVID has kept everybody in the office and we haven't seen him around, but he's the director. And Brook?
I'm the job developer here at DSS.
The job developer. That's a good title. We know Michelle Smeltzer.
Yes.
She's
my boss.
She's your boss.
She is.
She is.
Well, we can't say anything bad about her. It's hard to find something bad about
Yes.
Michelle. She's great. She's great. She's a hard worker. She's got her fingers into everything.
Mm-hmm.
That she does.
You need more people like her. So.
I do. That I do.
She's great. So Michelle owes me now for this, plug here.
Michelle owes me for a lot of stuff too, so I think we're good.
Well, today we're going to talk about a couple things. We got a job fair we're going to talk about, but also the public health emergency is coming to an ending time. So tell us a little bit about that, what we've had, what we're not going to get, what's happening to some of your clients.
Yep, the public health emergency has been in effect basically since the pandemic started. And it was recently extended to July 15th of 2022. Now, we don't know exactly when it is going to end, but we're being told more than likely July, August is when the public health emergency is going to end. And that's going to have a large impact on people receiving services through the Department of Social Services. Right now, the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, people have been getting the largest allotment of SNAP available. So if you had a family of 4, generally what would happen is we would take a look at your income and your outgo, and a table would tell us how much SNAP you should be getting per month.
Right.
Since the public health emergency has been going on, people will be getting the top amount for their family size level.
Regardless of their income.
Regardless of the income, as long as you're eligible for the program, you're going to get the most you possibly can. That will stop. And so if you were getting $150 before the pandemic, and right now you're getting $400, you're going to go back to $150.
Okay.
Once the public health emergency is over. And it's been almost 2 years now, so people have been used to getting a lot of SNAP.
It's hard to go from $400 to $100 or any amount of money and get it reduced.
It's really going to hit our seniors because a lot of our seniors get the bare minimum SNAP, which was $16 a month.
Right.
Which you can buy, gallon of bread and a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread.
Maybe that was a year ago. Maybe now you can only get the milk.
Right. And during the pandemic, though, they've been up higher.
Right.
That's going to end, and it's going to go back down to the normal allotment. Right. Also, our PEBT program, which is the Pandemic EBT program, centered around school lunches. Basically, if you were eligible for free or reduced lunch during the pandemic because schools weren't in session, you got a PEBT card with SNAP allotment on it. That's going to end as well completely.
Sure.
And so if you've been getting the PEBT, once the public health emergency is over, that program goes away.
Well, I know the schools have been doing the free food, hundreds of thousands of meals the county has put out, and they basically, same thing, there was funds available, and I know Supervisor Mabe was really pushing that free food. In fact, Michelle said they had a bunch last week. They had a food giveaway because they had to clean out everything left over for the thermal shelter. So food has not been a problem the last 2 years as far as we've had an abundance amount. And again, everything has to come to an end, and I think we're going to see a transition probably between that.
And it's not only that the allotments are going down, but we're suffering from inflation right now.
On top of that.
And so the amount you're getting is going down, but the cost that you're paying continues to go up.
And the programs will eventually make some adjustments, but that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
No.
It's not every month. Well, we'll look at that in a year. And then it takes another year to enact it and another year to get the money. And it's a slow process.
Another program that's going to be affected is Medicaid. During the public health emergency, the Department of Medical Assistance Services and the federal government said that nobody could have their Medicaid turned off unless you moved out of state, or you passed away, or you requested that it be turned off, or you were incarcerated. So we have a lot of people on Medicaid right now who normally would not be. Currently in Warren County, there are 10,086 people receiving Medicaid services. Now, the state government is telling us they're expecting about 20% to not be eligible once the public health emergency is over. And I'm not a mathematician, but basic math tells me that's about 2,000 people
Exactly.
who are currently receiving Medicaid who may not receive it once the public health emergency is over. And that's going to have a large impact as well. The best thing that anyone can do, and if you are currently receiving SNAP, TANF, or Medicaid, and you're concerned that you may be affected by this, the best thing you can do is contact your worker and make sure that we have your current address and contact information, telephone number, and your mailing address, because the state is going to be mailing out renewal forms to everyone. If you don't get your renewal form and turn it back in, your services are going to
They
be
just
ended.
cut them off.
And then you would have to reapply and go through the process all over again. So the best thing you can do to prepare ahead of time is to make sure we have your current updated contact information. That way you know you're getting the latest information from the government about the programs. You'll get the forms that you need to fill out and have returned to see if you can continue your eligibility.
Well, also sometimes you might not be eligible for that program, but there's another program that that may be assist as well. So I know that's what Michelle always says. Tell us, just give us your situation. We'll evaluate it and look through all the
That's right.
programs, and they're there. We're here to help you, and so we're going to find something that we can do, or at least you'll know.
We always tell everybody just apply.
Let's apply. yeah.
Make us do our job. You can apply in person. You can get a paper application. You can apply online at www.commonhelp.gov. You can call and apply. You don't even have to come in person or see anybody.
When my brother required some of your services, he was about as computer literate as that coffee cup right there, But again, people in your office was able to go in, help him, walk him through the steps. He just could not do anything on his own. He was dependent. People had always taken care of him, and so
Right.
when he needed the service that they jumped through a lot of hoops. They helped him get his Medicaid, and it was a great service. So it worked out great for him. So it's out there. I mean, I know they do their work. Really, believe it or not, the government workers are here to help you.
That's right. About 1/4 of the population of Warren County comes through DSS every year.
That amazed me. I think a year or two ago we were talking to Michelle, and she had we have about 8,000 clients. I'm thinking at the time it was like 30-some thousand people. I mean, that's a big chunk of people that run through the DSS.
Right.
That's really, people don't realize that your neighbor is probably on DSS services of some sort, because there's a lot of services, not just Medicaid or SNAP or something. There's a lot of services there.
We have been meeting with our community partners to try to inform them of when the public health emergency is going to be ending. The different food banks that we have, St. Luke's we talked to as well, our friends at the Area Agency on Aging, to make sure that all of our community partners know that these programs could be coming to an end, and so the need for their services is probably going to be going up as well.
Yep.
One of the other things that's connected with our SNAP and our TANF programs is a work requirement. That has been waived during the pandemic. That's going to be reinstated as well. So if you're receiving SNAP, you could be subject to a work requirement. If you're receiving TANF, you probably will be subject to the work requirement as well. And that's why Brook is here to tell us what we're doing to help you out with that.
A good segue to our job fair.
There you go.
Yes.
So we are having a job fair.
We are this Thursday, May 12th, at the gymnasium at the Health and Human Services building. It's going to be from 10 to 2. Everyone's welcome. There's no fee. We're going to have right around 30 vendors there, or employers there. I have a list of those. This will be the second one that we've held. It's, I don't know if I said, but from 10 to 2.
Right.
It's going to be AirServe, Anderson Windows, Exalta, ESS, Family Dollar Distribution, FedEx, George's, Greenfield Senior Living, Jackson Furniture, Job Corps, the local union, IBEW, that's a local
Electric
workers,
There
right?
you go. Martin's, NW Works, Passionate Home Health, Pilgrims, Right at Home, Shenandoah River State Park, Silent Falcon, Sunbelt Reynolds, Torrey, Trex, Valley Health, VEC, Vern's Plumbing, Warren County the cafeteria and the school, the custodians, Warren County Government, Shirley Contracting, and Winchester Community Mental Health are who we have listed as of
So
now
far.
that are coming.
And there
yes.
might be more.
I keep getting, every day I get emails. How do we register? Do you still have room? And I'm not turning anybody away.
No.
And this is free to vendors too. Any business, if you want to come and have a table at the job fair, call Brook at our office, 635-3430. Ask for Brook, and we'll get you a table.
Absolutely.
Last year when we had the job fair, they were doing interviews on site, and people walked away with employment.
Right, right. And you hear all the time about there's jobs. We hear it on the national news
Yeah.
that
There's plenty
our
of jobs.
unemployment is low, but our participation is really what's low. Kind of skews the number. Maybe the real unemployment's a much higher. And I think people have left the job force because of some of the benefits they got that was actually reduced their benefit by working on some of these cases.
Yeah.
Right.
And you say, well, if I work, I'm going to get X number, but if I don't work, I'll get more X dollars, and so it's a hard thing. Or you got childcare. When school that was a real drag down when a lot of single parents that were, barely making it. Now all of a sudden I got a child at home. What do I do? And there's a lot of stress on families that maybe you may not see or I may not see, but it's out there. It's out there.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you brought up childcare because during the pandemic, the state waived copays. Generally, the Department of Social Services, if you're getting childcare through us, we pay the maximum market rate to the provider, and most parents had a copay then that they would be paying, and it had been waived. But that's going to be reinstated as well, and that's going to create a burden on the residents.
Some of these jobs pay really well.
They do.
And you're seeing some of you mentioned
20
some of
plus an hour.
Yes, $20 plus an hour.
And sign-on bonuses. And there's
I was
a lot
driving
out
by
there.
the Roy Rogers. It said looking for managers with a $3,000 sign-on bonus.
Right.
And people think about McDonald's as being low wages, but
Not
managers and things of these fast food restaurants make really good money, and it's a career path. I mean, it's not just flipping hamburgers or fixing French fries. I mean, these are career paths, and a lot of them come up and grow up through the ranks and become owners of these franchises and do it. So it's always a place to start. Don't be afraid thinking it's fast food, and you don't always need a college degree
Absolutely
to get
not.
into these management positions. They're looking for hard workers, people have got the common sense to get things done. So I think we went through a phase of the college degree route,
Right.
and we found out that we got a bunch of people with college degrees that can't do anything, that don't have any life experiences. And now we're looking back and we're looking at attitude more than skills. We'll teach you the skills, but I can't make you come to work on time.
Work ethic.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
The work ethic, and that's what I think we're literally looking for. And we do that, even here, we're looking for the work ethic. I can teach you the skills,
That's right.
but I can't, your mama had to do that, and if she didn't do a good job, it's hard to learn that late in life,
Right. One of the things that we offer at the Warren County Department of Social Services that no other Department of Social Services in the northern region offers is a job developer. Brook was hired. The county, in their foresight, said, you know what, we need somebody here who can connect people to the jobs. And that's what Brook is all about. You don't have to be a client of DSS to work with Brook. You don't have to meet any income requirements. You can be fully employed and just not happy with your job and want
Right.
something more. She will sit down with you and work on your resume, interviewing skills. She has job openings all the time that are sent to her. You don't have to be a client to avail yourself of these services.
Absolutely.
And Warren County, we saw all these help wanted signs everywhere.
Sure.
And yet we had high unemployment, and there was a disconnect. And so what Brooke has been able to do is go out in the community, talk to the employers, and say, what is it you're looking for? What is it you're not finding? And then she helps find people to fill those positions. And there was a couple that came, they were hiking the trail. They came down off the mountain, and within 3 days, she had them employed, and she had them a place to live and helped them arrange transportation. So please, call our office, come by, see Brooke. If you're working and you want more, or if you're not working and you want to work, that's what Brooke is here for.
If you're interested in a trade, I can look into
That's what I was
some-
going to bring up, because we had some things that came up during the COVID period, we'll call it that. the training
Yes.
opportunities have increased.
Yes.
And so this is an opportunity time where people later in life can go back and be retrained into some of these skills that are such a shortage. I remember
Absolutely.
a couple of years ago, like nursing was a big thing, and the community college was putting on programs, and they were just dying for people to, we got this money to help pay to get you trained, and we need warm bodies to show up that have an interest in doing it. Is that still
Yes.
something that's going
Yeah.
on?
We met with Lord Fairfax about a month or so ago.
Well,
Well, it's Lord Fairfax now. It'll
Yeah.
be Laurel Ridge.
Laurel Ridge soon, but
Yes. So
we'll always be LFCC.
right.
Yes. So we met with them in Workforce Solutions, and they actually have a program that if we have clients that do have SNAP or Medicaid, was it TANF as well, maybe? Or if they receive services from us, they have an opportunity for them to pay they can go at the fast track rate, and as long as they attend every class, go through it all, and then complete it, it's free to them. And we're talking heavy equipment, CDL, nursing, billing, coding.
And all those are
things.
jobs that pay
Yeah, and
Good
they
money.
$20 plus.
And you can't beat free.
no,
and you can't be free.
They won't put you in a class that they don't think that you will be able to have a job once you complete the course. Because they had some phlebotomists they spoke about that they had a lot of people interested in that. They did it, and then there wasn't as much of a need at the time. So they look at what they have the need for, and that's where they'll put you. if you're
Classes
interested.
adjust to,
Yes.
they're not going to put 100 people in a class
Yeah.
when they got 20 jobs.
Right.
Yes, and
Right.
that's their goal, is to make sure when they've completed, they have the
And
employment.
that's kind of the bottom line of our economic development in our community is, we want these businesses to come here, but we have to be able to provide, other than just a housing, we have
Yeah.
to be able to provide a workforce. And when a business is going to relocate to our community, first thing they look at, is there a workforce for us to hire?
Right.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the workforce or the training available, they go to the next city, because we hear all the time, well, how come they go there? And how come they go down to there? Why don't they come to Warren County? Because we either don't have the housing or we don't have the workforce. It's kind of like, which do you build? If you build it, they will come type thing,
Yeah.
but it's a three-legged stool there, and it's important to work with the school systems, make sure that our kids are getting trained in the proper way. And I tell people, years ago, I was at a conference with Lee Iacocca at a big education thing when he was the chairman of Chrysler, and they worked with the school system and the counties and says, look, you have to guarantee your product. You're producing workforce is really what you're doing. And when we hire them, we have to spend millions of dollars to retrain them in the basic skills. We can't do that anymore. You're going to have to come back and give us a product that, like what LFCC is doing, or high schools are doing. Give us a product that we can create, we can hire.
Right.
And we don't think in those terms. We just think you're going through high school and you're doing, but really, maybe schools need to do that, so we can stress that to our school board here.
Yes.
But really, think about it. You're producing a product. And if you need to produce a product that people are willing to pay for, and that's how wages, everything, I explain that to people all the time about, we kind of, jobs are like on a bell curve. You got the lowest skilled and lowest paid jobs, and the highest skilled and the highest paid jobs. And it's all about how long does it take to replace you? Are you a 2-hour replacement or a 12-year replacement?
Yeah.
Right.
And that, as you well know, in the jobs, that's where we're at. And every job's important, regardless of whether you're at the lowest skill or the highest skill. You really can't do without either one.
Nope.
But
Right.
we can all move up
Yes,
or we
absolutely.
move down. So we need to think about that. And are we providing a skill, or are you providing a skill that people will pay for? And that's really the bottom line. We have to do it. Every business is that way.
Social services, we are all about providing opportunities.
Right.
And we hope that everybody takes advantage of the opportunities that are provided out there.
Yeah.
A lot of times people simply don't know what those opportunities are. And that's where we step in.
What you're not going to do for them. I get all the time, I need some money. And we do. We have an immediate need for things. But I think what we have to do is the old saying, teach a man to fish, right?
Right.
And that's really what you're about, is we're going to give you a helping hand. We'll help you up, but it's up to
Correct.
the individual then to really take advantage of it and to finish and complete the task.
Right.
And it's a hard road when you've never had to do that.
Yeah.
Our mission is to help people triumph over poverty, become self-sufficient. Our ultimate goal is to put ourselves
ourselves
out of business.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's right. Well, and you see that. I talked to Michelle again on different things: the thermal shelter, the House of Hope, and they get really excited when someone moves out.
Yes.
and has got a
Yeah.
job and has got his own apartment, and that's a real big, that's a great moment.
Yes.
Then you know what we've done is the program's working.
Yes.
Right.
And when people can really see the completion and move on, and that's what we have to do. And if you can't move on, then you're moving out, because you're going to make room for the next person that wants to move up. And I think that's what a lot of these programs, we've heard about, people have been on welfare for generations and
right.
generations, and that's the
Generational.
cycle that we need to break. And it sounds like that's what you're trying to do
Yep.
here, is break that cycle of welfare, so to
Yep.
speak. I guess we don't use that word anymore, do we?
Well,
Assistance.
Assistance.
the best day we have is when people don't need us anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know people that have done that. I'm off, I'm working, and you do that. That's great. It's great. Well, we appreciate all the work you do in our community. It's a unsung hero, so to speak. And I know Michelle, I try to encourage her to tell me more about what's going on, so we can encourage people to take these opportunities, because you can move up.
Absolutely.
And
That's
that's
right.
what the American dream's all about, is to move up, and we want to keep moving upward. And
We appreciate this opportunity, this job fair this Thursday. Employers are there to hire. If you want a
Right.
job, you can walk away with one
Yes,
this Thursday.
absolutely.
yeah, that's what I've heard, and we know that they're looking. Some people just don't know or can't get to the place or don't know where to go. And this is a great opportunity to come to one place and have an opportunity to walk around and just see what the other ones are about. And,
Yep.
And
see-
there are some that offer transportation.
Yes.
And I know there's a couple, and then there's another manufacturing in Winchester that has actually started offering transportation.
Right.
It's into the West Virginia area. But if they come and they see that, a need is in our area,
Sure.
you show up and you say, I'd love to work for you, but I'm having an issue getting there, that tells the employers too, maybe there's something they could do on their end to help meet that need.
Sure.
So,
Well, like I said, they need employees.
exactly.
And you have to go where they're at.
Yeah.
Sometimes the company's over here, but the employees are over here, and you got to get the two together. So
Right.
we'll take a look at it. We'll see how it goes on May 12th. It sounds like an interesting thing. Maybe we'll show up over there. Maybe,
Absolutely,
I
we'd
might
love
be
to have
looking
you.
for a new job. I don't
Oh
know.
gosh, maybe a second job?
I feel like I need another one. Right? I have 2 or 3. That's the old joke. You got 2 or 3 jobs. How many jobs you got?
Yep.
Anyways, great meeting you, and we will get together here shortly, and maybe next month we'll get together as we get closer. Once we find out what the end of these programs are, let's get back together. We can talk about how well the job fair is, when's the next one, and see, and we'll touch base and get an update. How's that?
That sounds great.
Sounds
Appreciate
great.
it.
Thanks again, guys. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.